I'm Jeff Morgan. I'm here with Julio Almaguer, and we just were out in Keller right now for a political event. But you are not just here for politics, are you? You're here for other things. So tell me what you're here for. What it's about for you.
Shared parenting. Definitely an advocate for it. There, my custody battle basically started fall of 2019.
Okay.
I'm literally still ongoing. Unfortunately, I feel like I'm fighting a corrupt system in Collin County. Mm-hmm. After basically establishing residency with my son for a year, I decided to fight for custody, full custody of my child and my daughter. Mm-hmm. And March of 2020, early before pandemic, my son spoke to Judge Wheless, mm-hmm. and she decided, after hearing him, that she needed to appoint an Amicus attorney to the case. Mm-hmm. She had chosen Rachel Lee. I met with her once, 30 minutes via Zoom. Mm-hmm. Afterwards, basically, fast forward after the pandemic, everything kind of just got pushed aside. December of 2020, without my knowledge, without me being even at the courthouse, the Amicus basically decided that she was going to charge me a fee of $25,000 for having her on the case.
And wait a minute, you said she only met with you for half an hour?
Half an hour.
Okay, so half an hour for $25,000, $50,000 an hour. Now, I'm sure she's doing some other work, right? What kind of work is she doing?
She's met with my kids, I believe 2 to 3 times there. She's met with mom, a lot of emails back and forth from mom and opposing counsel there. According to her, her $850 an hour fee isn't much more than what the average attorney in Collin County is charging there.
$850 for an Amicus attorney. And she was appointed by Judge Cynthia Wheless.
Absolutely.
Now, I've heard a couple of times, I've heard a number of people talk about both Judge Cynthia Wheless and Rachel Lee. Mm-hmm. And it appears from what I've been told, and I don't know this because I don't know a whole lot about it, but maybe you can verify this. Is there some type of a cozy relationship between them? Because I've heard a lot of times that Cynthia Wheless appoints Rachel Lee, and I've heard that possibly Rachel Lee has thrown some parties or something like that for her. So I mean, basically, I'll do this for you, but you throw me some cases. $850 an hour, man. You'd throw a lot of parties for that.
Absolutely there. It's to my understanding there that Rachel Lee has basically donated more than the legal amount to her campaign. So she's definitely a heavy contributor. Once, after speaking to her secretary, I had asked the secretary if they got a lot of cases from Judge Wheless, and her quote, I quote, she stated, she keeps us busy year round. Right, mm-hmm. And what hurts even more is during that case in December, which I wasn't even at, she legally awarded those fees, the $25,000, as back child support.
So wait a minute, that's not child support.
Absolutely right. Absolutely
is that even legal to do what she did?
No, it is not. It is illegal. Judge Cynthia Wheless knows this. Rachel Lee even knows this. May of 2021, there was an enforcement hearing. And the reason she ordered it as back child support is now they can actually throw me in jail for not paying those fees.
And contempt of court and throw it in. Wow,
absolutely.
That's really something.
My lawyer fought it.
Can I ask who your lawyer was?
Miss.
If you don't want to, that's okay.
You're fine. My lawyer is Carrie Grant.
Okay.
Sorry, Carrie. I'm going blank. Carrie Bohatch. I'm so sorry. I'm going blank here. But yes, she fought against it. Cynthia Wheless basically dismissed it, started reading me my rights. So we were kind of backed into a corner there. Mm-hmm. 6 days after mine, Sorry, I'm going blank. There was another judge in the same courthouse that ruled, and this was Ogle versus Garza, that those fees cannot be awarded.
That's Piper McGraw.
Piper McGraw, you're absolutely right.
I'm very familiar with that case.
That case as well, very nice.
Yeah. Rachel Lee appeared there too?
Yes, she appeared.
Rachel Lee seems like she gets all over the place.
She appeared for Charity Lawson. The Amicus on Robert's case. And she testified to show why these fees should be allowed to be ordered as additional child support. However, the Supreme Court ruled in 2013, Tucker versus Thomas, that these fees could not be awarded as additional child support. So it is illegal, and the judge reading Julio's rights to him on May 6th of 2021 was a violation of his constitutional rights.
So, violation of your constitutional rights in family, or what we typically call anti-family court.
Absolutely.
That happens quite a bit, though. That's nothing unusual, is it?
Unfortunately, no.
So, what is the recourse that you have against a judge, an anti-family judge, who performs these unconstitutional acts against the Constitution, violates your rights? Because the way that I've seen it so far, it appears that in many cases, judges cover for judges. And it seems like the legal system is such that attorneys cover for judges, judges cover for attorneys. It's like a good old boy system. Am I mistaken? Is my observation like really way out there, or?
No, you were spot on 100% there. Apparently they have a whole group in Collin County that all basically work together and watch each other's back. Mm-hmm. And right now it just seems like nothing can be done.
Disguised as a woman's prayer group. How about that? Let's pray and gossip and strategize at the same time.
Talk about each other's cases.
This is absolutely. I mean, this is one of those instances where Jesus would be overturning tables in the temple. I mean, quite honestly. So.
I mean, really, what's so interesting about Julio's case is that there's so much effort on so many levels to cover up what's happening. So, for example, Rachel Lee was assigned to his case. Rachel Lee requested the judge, let me backtrack a little. On December 3rd of 2020, Rachel Lee requested the judge order these amicus fees as additional child support. She granted that. During that hearing, it was discussed that there was a possibility that Julio could request a jury trial, to which his attorney was like, we haven't filed anything yet, right?
Yeah.
And then there was discussion about how she should be disqualified from the case, actually, because there is a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
When I say conflict of interest, there is an attorney that was working for Miss Lee and still is currently working for Miss Lee, and she was very much aware that that attorney previously worked for Mr. Almaguer's attorney during the time that his suit was originally being handled.
So she shouldn't even be touching anything.
She should not even be touching the case. However, she denied it and lied under oath.
Yeah. Well, perjury, once again, as we've talked about in the past, perjury in family courts, it's not really
exist.
Yeah.
And so what's so interesting about that is there was another ethical violation during that December 3rd hearing. Kid you not, on record, I have the transcript. Rachel Lee asked Honorable Judge Wheless, Your Honor, if Mr. Almaguer and his attorney moved to have me disqualified from this case, would the judge entertain me charging Mr. Almaguer more fees? And the judge said yes.
This is incredible. So this is just one example, and you have documentation for all of this. You have transcripts and everything.
Yes.
Maybe you should send that to me if possible, because this is what goes on in our family courts all the time. This absolute putrid corruption, and when I call family courts dens of iniquity and immoral, whatever you want to call them, what you're telling me right now is that everything that I've said about them probably is painting them in a positive light.
Saying it lightly.
Yeah. So we've called them the cartel, and but actually, in some degree, we've made apologies to the cartel or to the mafia, because whether you agree with the mafia's ethics or not, at least they have some. So anyway, but the thing that gets me about Judge Cynthia Wheless, I've met her just once, and I didn't get to talk with her at all. But if you were to ask most people about Judge Cynthia Wheless, they would think that she is a good judge, conservative Republican. Is that not correct?
She covers it up. She covers it up because she does so much work for the community. She's involved with, she also handles juvenile court. She handles mental illness with juvenile court. She tries to, advocate for children dealing with mental illness. She definitely covers it up. But what's so crazy is when you're actually in her courtroom and you're experiencing the unlawfulness that she's practicing,
right,
and that she's ruling from the bench, it's like the law is black and white, right? Like, the law is the law. And when you have a judge who's literally denying the law and breaking the law and saying, I'm going to throw you in jail, like you said, it goes back to that cartel tactic, right? Mm-hmm. They literally bullied him and scared him, saying, if you don't agree to pay these fees, Mr. Almaguer, we're going to throw you in jail. Yeah. So when his attorney said this is illegal, literally on the May 6th hearing, she said, this is illegal, Your Honor, you can't do this, you're violating my client's constitutional rights. The judge continued to read him his rights.
Wow, that's incredible. I've heard many other stories like this too, where in a situation that, a guy is being sued by his ex-wife who wants a divorce, and she doesn't have any money, and the judge orders him to sell the house to pay her attorney, who has been the one suing him, and if you don't do this, I'm going to find you in contempt of court, I'm going to throw you in jail, I'm going to fine you $1,000 a day. I've driven by a house, and the guy says, this used to be my house. the judge ordered me to sell it, and I think the judge also took this stuff off the transcripts. So
We have
this.
transcripts with it on.
Yeah, you'll have to send them to me.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so you're down here. So when you just heard Greg Abbott, and he talked about, the importance of parents. We have this Parents' Bill of Rights. But you as a father would say, well, where are my Bill of Rights? I'm a parent. Am I hearing that right? That you would be asking, well, Governor Abbott, what are you going to do for me? Because right now we have a lot of issues where parental rights in theory is one nice thing, but when it comes down to the anti-family courts, they disregard parental rights and they become the super parent and they tell you how you should parent, stuff like that.
Absolutely. I mean, thank the good Lord that he was able to pass the law to where now extended standard is the standard.
Right.
However, in 2017, when I first went to court, and I asked for joint custody,
Right.
50-50,
Right.
the first thing my lawyer said at the time was, you have to go in there and prove to the judge why it's in the children's best interest.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would love to hear at least one judge tell me what exactly the best interest of the child means, because there is no definition. And they have what they call the Hawley factors. There's 8 factors. They're a list of non-exhaustive factors. They don't have the exhaustive list. They don't tell you how these factors are being weighted. They don't tell you anything.
Let me tell you, we have a copy of the Hawley factors.
Right.
And his attorney has sat with me on the phone for hours, and we have weighed out every single Hawley factor, and there is no denying that his children should be in his care, according to the court standard.
Yeah, wow, that's really something. So, yeah. So what are your steps from here? What are you looking at doing, and how? Is your case unique? Let me ask that first.
I'd like to think so, but unfortunately, I believe there's a lot of dads out there going through the same thing. Unfortunately, Collin County has basically taken advantage of dads that are actually trying to be in their children's lives,
Right.
and basically extorting them for money.
Right.
Right now, first and foremost, the thing we're trying to do is get Rachel Lee removed because of the...
Rachel Lee seems like she needs to be exposed. I've heard her name come up so many times. I don't know how many people have told me about Rachel Lee, the Amicus attorney. She did this. She's doing these things for judges. It appears to me that Rachel Lee is a massive corruption somehow that masquerades as an attorney. I don't know. I can't prove this stuff. It's my opinion, but I suppose sounds like you have something you want to say.
According to Rachel Lee, her own words, it's not a party until someone decides to remove the Amicus attorney.
It's not a party until someone decides to remove the Amicus
in the
attorney.
one interview we did.
Wow.
Her social media profile picture says, "Bring it, bitches."
And
Wow,
what's
bring it,
interesting-
bitches, huh?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
well, you know what? I guess this is for Rachel Lee. I dedicate this to Rachel Lee. Rachel Lee, I'm not one of the people that you want me to help bring it, but I will help to bring it to you. And thank you for your comments on that. I'm glad that you know this stuff. Any final words you want to talk about regarding the courts, either in Collin County or about Judge Cynthia Wheless or about Amicus attorney Rachel Lee, who charges $825 an hour?
Is what she quoted me, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Go ahead.
It's interesting because looking at the receipts that she sent me, the invoices, she's actually charging me for emails that have been sent to opposing counsel.
Yeah.
So anything and everything she can get away with, she is definitely trying. It seems like her...
Does she also charge you $825 an hour for emails?
I believe it was about $150 for one email or something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
every email is a...
So the $850, the way we calculated that was, so her actual hourly fee is $250. However,
Okay.
she said that she's going to continue to bill us for all the work that she's putting on the case. The $25,000 that was ordered by the courts is only a trial retainer. That is how much she wants to prep for just simply trial.
This is absolutely ridiculous. This is when we talk about the financial abuse and pillage of parents through amicus attorneys and through the court system. That's what we're talking about. I don't know how you've been able to do this when there are many people that would not have been able to survive. I'm assuming that you probably have a somewhat of a successful business or something like that you're able to continue to do this, even though obviously it's financially crippling to you.
Unfortunately, what's working for me is also apparently what worked against me. I've got a great job, a great career. What's kept me going through there is my support system. I've got a very good crutch there, if you will, with Miss Angelina Barrera getting me through everything.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to say, though, is I couldn't believe that the Amicus actually went above and beyond by showing up to my mediation and basically made it to where there was no way we were going to get into an agreement. The mediator himself said that we were getting something done.
And that she sabotaged it because she knows that through conflict, she will generate more work for herself.
Absolutely. If we don't get a court, she doesn't get paid.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I want to thank you so much, Julio, for talking about this. Wish I could have been up to your house and maybe had some more in-depth conversation, but we met out here. That's great. But this is what goes on in what we call the anti-family court cartel, the anti-family court mafia, the anti-family court destruction industry, the family destruction industry in the state of Texas. And I want to just thank you for taking some time with me right now to give me your perspective on what's happened. I've talked with Angela in the past as well. I've talked to so many people about this stuff. This is a number one issue that should be on our agenda. We talk about drug cartels, but we don't talk about the anti-family court cartels and the whole family destruction industry. I was hoping that Governor Abbott would at least take one or two questions because I wanted to ask him about that. But anyway, thank you so much, Julio, for being here.
Thank you for
Appreciate
having
it.
me.
Thanks so much.
You have a good one.
Thanks. Bye.